Hey you guys! I was feeling a bit lazy today and decided to use a voiceover rather than my real voice. In this video, I am going to be creating a long overdue color palette for my comic. I started with the original palette. I feature this in almost every video. It's Darlow's original color palette. I'm starting with the basic outline color for everything. It's a very subtle bluish black. I was also experimenting with a bigger size for my palette dots so that it would be easy to use with my color dropper. This is going to make my process much easier in the future too because my normal workflow has been awful. I would switch back and forth to 2 or 3 different comic pages while coloring my new episodes. Like I said, it is long overdue. Better late than never. I am still learning new things. I think my next workflow improvement will be learning the hotkeys. From there, I am going back into some episodes that already have my character colors. I'm starting with Darlow's boss, Daryl. He's pretty pink in color. I used the same blue for his shirt as Darlow's shirt, so there was no need to repeat that in his palette. I like reusing colors because it makes my comic look more uniform and like everything is in the same universe. I love Daryl's character because he reminds me of Steve Irwin if he had a bath salt problem in college. He has never changed out of his adventure gear, his hair is always a little greasy, his accent is unfamiliar, but overall, he's an okay dude. No need to roast him. He pays a fair wage. I also decided to make another palette for the office colors, because I would feature this in a later comic. It was a bit tricky because the texture of the carpet and table was so transparent. But like I said, I repeat a lot of these colors in my other scenes as well. Not sure why I'm doing nothing here. I think I was zoning out a bit during this recording. Next character on the list is Dale. Dale is the calm in the storm. He is a pretty chill guy, despite everyone else being a little weird. Perhaps he's weird too but doesn't show it. He prefers following the rules but is surprisingly laid back when it comes to everything else. Next on the list is Dale's grandma, who is by far my favorite character in the whole series. She was fun to draw and her episode was really fun to make in color. It felt like a turning point for the style of the comic. I developed a highlighting and shadow technique that worked well for her living room and eventually felt confident using it in other scenes. Lighting is probably the best thing about coloring my comics. I get a bit distracted when I jump around this scene. I almost forgot to get the shade color for Dale's sweater. And his face highlights. There I go, getting lost again. I'm just moving the mouse around, and for what? Oh. I remember now. I was testing colors for Dale's palette because the peachy tone didn't seem right for his skin. I originally had the same peachy tones from Darlow's skin details for him because it was easier for quick coloring. So I started experimenting with hopes that I'd find a more natural tone for him, and even though I did find a few that I liked, I ended up just using the peach because I didn't want to have to change all of the previous episodes. And I sort of liked that he looked a little sick. Now that I think about it, everyone in this comic looks a little sick. Must be all the mold. I overwhelmed myself with decisions, so I just decided to add more colors from the environment into this 4-leaf clover shape. It was a nervous shape, so I scooted it over very gently to be with the other colors. As my grandma-room-shaped caterpillar color palette started to grow, I moved it back in the corner because it felt safer there. My office color palette caterpillar started to grow too, and for a minute I thought they would get territorial and fight. So I had to go back to another office scene to grab more colors. The fight needed to be even. Both palettes seemed to be fine after that, so I moved on to the next character. Diana was supposed to be a voiceless character that somehow is always on the phone. Miss Cerebellum from the Powerpuff Girls was a big inspiration for her character, you can tell by her luscious red hair. Most of my characters have their own signature and distinguishable colors so that even from a distance you can tell who they are. I hear that that's a good practice when developing characters. I'm jumping around and jiggling colors just for fun right here. And back to business. I am practicing my handwriting so that I can label my palettes. I used to think that my handwriting wasn't good enough to use for dialogue and comic labels. But now I feel like it adds so much flavor to my scenes. I also draw my comics in Krita, and the text button stresses me out a bit, so it worked out that way. I totally forgot the names of my characters while I was writing them out on my palette page, so I had to jump around to find them again. Of course I had to give them all D names to match Darlo. I love it when parents do that with their kids. Like, you ate that, Mom and Dad. Or should I say Dom and Mad? I should not. So there you have it, folks. Darlo, Daryl, Dale, and Diana. The 4 Ds of dodgeball. Couldn't forget about the office boss caterpillar. And Ma's house caterpillar. They ended up being really good friends. I love a happy ending. Thanks for watching.